We've seen good cloud numbers from Google and Azure last night, and it better be good at this point for Amazon, and it probably will be good. And part of the reason why it probably will be good is we're seeing this surge in demand from generative AI. It's increasing usage at a bigger rate. So I think that AWS number is going to be a great number tonight for Amazon.
Gene Munster spending time on Mr. Bezos' yacht. Yesterday, Joe Matthew, balance of power in conversation with a senator from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Here is Elizabeth Warren with Mr. Matthew.
What Donald Trump is saying is if the American people can see clearly what his tariffs are costing them, that creates a real problem for Donald Trump and for the Republicans in Congress. So his solution is not to do something more sensible on tariffs. His solution is to try to end access to the information and to persuade Jeff Bezos that he needs to erase that information. And yes, I want to hear about that conversation. In fact, I want to hear about all of the conversations.
Senator Warren of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Gene Munster, I know you're going up in the rocket the next time, the Bezos tourist rocket. Let me just cut to the chase. Gene Munster, is Jeffrey Bezos, is he running Amazon still?
Simple answer is yes. As chairman and as founder, I think he has an outsized influence, much more than Jassy. And so I think the answer is that the buck does stop with him.
Gene, see that short answer there? He really doesn't want to talk about this.
Yeah,
Let's continue.
Hey,
Talk
Gene, we're going to hear from our good friends in Cupertino and their results. What do you expect? What do you need to hear from Apple and Tim Cook as they, again, try to navigate what is suddenly a very, uncertain global economic outlook?
So the numbers, I've been watching this company for 20 plus years, and these numbers are less important tonight as far as the actual reported numbers. It's more about the structure that they're going to lay for how they're going to navigate what's happening with tariffs, a shift in production, and how they're building out their AI. And so very unique setup where if the iPhone number is good, that would be a positive impact on the stock. If it's bad, a slight negative. But for the most part, investors are looking much further down the road. And this is a pivotal moment around the company. I would say this related to what's going on the globalization side, how that impacts Apple, and separately in terms of what's going on tariffs. Those are forces that are hard for Apple to control. There is one piece that, and they will likely sort themselves out, my sense is this year. But there's one piece that I think investors have been penalizing Apple for that will come up. This will be a topic tonight that I think there is generally a misunderstanding from investors. And that piece is Apple behind an AI? The answer is yes. And how much are they being damaged by that? And I think that the answer is currently almost not at all. And part of the reason is that they really have 3 years to sort this out when it comes to Apple Intelligence. When I say sort it out, I mean provide the features that give it punch. And so their customers aren't going anywhere. And so when I think, Paul, when I think about these results tonight, I'm more cued into how they're going to fix Apple Intelligence over the next 2-3 years versus the next 2 or 3 quarters.
Gene Munster, I don't think this is in the zeitgeist. Tim Cook, based on my amateur take, is the #1 supply chain expert in American business. Out of Duke, all that. This is the guy is more knowledgeable about Pacific Rim, get the stuff from there to here. Is there a lack of confidence in Tim Cook's ability to survive these supply chain disruptions?
There is 100% confidence in Tim Cook's ability to make the best out of an extremely difficult situation. But even his magical ability to increase gross margins by using better manufacturing over the last decade, even that power is small relative to the forces of what these tariffs could mean. And I'll just kind of put some briefly into context. My sense is that these tariffs, when it comes to Apple, there's still mixed messages coming out of the White House in terms of how Apple's going to be impacted by that. My sense is that they're probably going to shake out somewhere between a 10 and 20% tariff. And if that, in fact, ends up being the case, even with Cook's masterful use of the supply chain, they're probably going to see some diminishing of gross margins. And it probably goes from call it 40-ish%, 41%. They're probably going to lose a couple percent on that, call it 39. And so it's a step back. But I just want to put some context. When we hear about all of this, the forces that Tim Cook, the levers that he can pull, there are some limitations to it. And that's why I think that I just applaud Dan Ives and him standing up and saying, like, we got to get this thing figured out. And what figured it out means is just some clarity. And ultimately, I think that that clarity is going to be 20%, and it's going to be a little bit of an impact. Again, doesn't change the long-term trajectory of the business, but it's something that investors are focused.